Welcome back to another week on Hit the Gap. We've just finished Magic Round, and what a Magic Round it was. Bit of magic.
One more.
One more. One more. That's for all the Magic Round attendees, if we have any listening. You know what's up there.
What a goddamn fantastic round, honestly.
Yeah, probably, geez, I would say 90% of the games were like highly enjoyable or close contests anyway.
I think pretty much every game was within 2 to 8 points, except for the last two rounds of the game. The last two games of the round, rather.
Yeah. The Tigers, Dolphins, which wasn't a blowout. It was only,
arguably, it was still pretty good.
Still a pretty good game.
Yeah.
It was a contest for the start of it, and then Eels Melbourne it was, wasn't it?
That was the blowout.
Yeah, that ended up being a bit tragic for Eels fans, but yeah, everything else was pretty good. Kicking off that Friday night. There was actually Bulldogs Raiders was even quite a good contest too, I think.
Yeah, Birdo is going to be kicking himself when he got into the shed. Surely, I think it was 2 conversions he missed, and they were down by 4. So, yikes.
Yeah. I mean, it was even the Broncos game afterwards. It was only 1 point the difference.
1 point difference,
right?
And it was down to the wire, down to the wire.
Yeah, quite full on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon if they didn't mess their field position up in the last 2 sets of their game, I reckon they probably had a chance at least leveling it to have golden point.
Yeah.
Which would have been really awesome for Magic Round, but
yeah.
And geez, they were dribbly on Friday as well. The crowd, it was like 52K nearly. It was just scenes.
You could hear it. Everyone was getting behind it.
Scenes.
The Festival of Footy, they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Festival of Footy. We'll go back and just have a quick look at round 10 before anything, just to glance over that, because we haven't talked about that since our last potty. Thursday game, first game of the week there was Dolphins Seagulls. That was only 6 points in it. 24 points Seagulls to Dolphins 30. That was actually quite a good contest.
And geez, it is so awesome watching these Dolphins play now. Like, yeah, they've really got a bit of fire in the belly going on. They're coming out and they are swinging no matter who they verse, which is sensational to watch, really. Got to say, Mark Nichols.
Yeah, the GOAT. Managing to almost like a Tommy Hazelton. He's a bit of a cult hero at the club at the moment. He seems to be getting over the line.
Oh, he just
almost every game.
He's just the workhorse of it. Just such a workhorse, man.
Yeah, fun.
Incredible.
Paying off for him. Yeah, they're probably. I mean, you hear a few people when they were analysing the game beforehand, talking about how they're probably the 2 perfect teams for each other too. Like, it's a perfect matchup in terms of, Sea Eagles having attack and their defense not being the greatest, and then the Dolphins sort of being almost the opposite in a way. But yeah, I mean, young Trey Fuller there at fullback again. He pulled off some magnificent stuff in that game for sure. They did Sea Eagles as well. I think they lost a few. They lost Tommy Turbo to his elastic band hamstrings again.
Cameraman antics.
Yeah. It looked like he might have even done it when he was.
He did it before. Yeah.
He was running to save. Was it a try save?
Yeah, it was that try save. Yeah. So
yeah.
It was same tackle, but you can see the hamstring go before he even hits the camera.
Yeah, Supermaning through the air, as you can see, and then it looks like he's almost reaching for it at that point, and then the bowling the cameraman over as a bit of collateral.
Got him good too.
Yeah.
Straight up though on him.
Yeah, I don't know what old Jake Travojevic seems to be the only one that stays healthy for long periods of time at the moment, or he's got some decent hamstrings.
Usually when he goes, it's usually something like a broken finger or something like that.
Yeah, something very minimal.
Something broken, but it's usually minimal to, he's only out for 1 or 2.
Yeah, but yeah, Sea Eagles copping a few there. They've lost him, and I think also Saab. Did Saab go down in that
Saab. One? What was Saab's? Saab's was something, wasn't hamstring again, was it? No, it wasn't.
No, I don't think so. We'll have a look in a minute, but whether it was AC joint possibly, was it? I don't know. We'll have a look at it, but I know they copped a bit of a lashing in terms of injuries in that game, unfortunately, as well as losing. But yeah, Dolphins, great work on that one.
Have to forgive the memory here, boys. It's been a bit of a dusty weekend.
Friday's games, we started with the Panthers Bulldogs. Now this one, the Bulldogs were pretty unlucky to lose, really. They were right in that contest for pretty well the game, right? I think it was Panthers game to lose, and they nearly did.
And then they actually did this week. So
yeah, exactly.
It carried on.
It's been coming. Another one there. Injury loss, unfortunately, for the Panthers being Cleary. Cleary out for 8 weeks, 8 or 12 weeks. I don't know what it was.
I believe it's minimum 8.
Yeah, minimum 8. There you go. So hamstring again, another hamstring, another week talking about another hamstring injury. I mean, that's what he did prior, and he's only just come back, and then he's re-aggravated it or done whatever to it. So
I would suspect it could be longer though than the 8, especially given the way that he reacted as well. He looked pretty upset about it. So
you would think, yeah, he knew instantly, but you would think they would sit him down for longer just to make sure he's right after that. Like, why would you?
Especially if you're going to stick in the 8. I mean, they'll probably still make the 8 even without him.
Yeah.
So I don't really see a point in bringing him back in and
there's no doubt.
It. Yeah.
There's no doubt that we're playing finals footy. You're right, but yeah, if I was the Panthers, I mean, why would you rush him back after he's just come back and re-aggravated again?
You're probably going to be okay, to get in there still.
Yeah.
Get him back in for finals and make it worth it.
Yep. But another hamstring injury to another Origin player and big star, big name in the game. That's just another one onto the list. I don't know. I mean, I think we've probably touched on it before. Ever since the game's been sped up, it seems like injuries are just increasing. The whole facet,
It's been a bit of a talk of the round, both last week and this week as well. Combined, I feel like the more conversations I have with people around the town, everyone's sort of getting behind it and going, maybe we do need to slow it down, because it's getting outrageous. Like, we're about to go into Origin with it. Does it almost feel like a reserve grade Origin?
Almost, yeah. All the backup players are going to be getting the call up on both sides at the moment.
And you'd have to probably even say it's over 50% of both teams are going to be backup players. Really, maybe closer to 40 for the Maroons. But
now that we've just lost Munster after this game as well,
good point.
Or this round, sorry, as well. Yeah. Yep, yeah, definitely.
Tommy or Ezra? I'm thinking Tommy.
Yeah, it'd have to be Tommy, I think.
I think Ezra goes 18.
Yeah, possibly. I can see him in the squad, in the extended squad, but I think Tommy gets the call up like he did last time.
Yeah.
But whether there's a direct correlation between the game being sped up and new rules being added to speed the game up every single year or not, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like a coincidence to me.
It's just getting way too out of hand, though. Like,
we'll see what NRL physio has to say about it, because he is a sports scientist and I'm not. But yeah, you know what I mean. We've been watching it every year. New rules get added, the game getting made faster, and more people getting injured. It's
and the amount of teams, like, I mean, I get it. You're not supposed to put all your eggs in one basket, sort of thing. One player goes down, you shouldn't be fucked.
That's where the good teams have the next man up that can fill the spot. But
but that's the reality for a lot of teams. Not everyone has a side like the Panthers. Not everyone has a side like
that's exactly right.
Another probably Storm's another great one. Like, not everyone has this like endless sort of list of like kids they can call up and they're just incredible superstars. Dolphins, look at them. They've done well with what they've got. Not everyone has that sort of backing. So it really does mess up a lot of teams. Like, you go into like rep periods, they hurt a lot of teams just on their own.
Yeah.
And understandably. Yep. But yeah, something's got to be looked at for sure.
Definitely. And then you've got your Eels, Broncos. This one ended up being probably as we thought it would be. 30 points for the Broncos, for the Eels 14.
Well, this was actually shaping up to look pretty good, and then they said, we're going to hold Moses for another 2 weeks.
yeah, exactly. They were looking like they were about to get him back and whatnot, but they then had to make do. And I mean, now with Gutho out as well, they've got young Talagi at the back. And
fair play to him, he's doing pretty well. He has impressed me a lot.
Yeah, he's probably better suited to maybe the fullback position than when he was getting thrown into the 6 there when he was. Yeah, definitely a bit of a better combination, but Broncos coming away with the win on this one. They managed to do well with having Reno out and Madden out for that game, so still
ironically, I think they look pretty dangerous if they keep Blaze at 1 and then Moses comes back in. I actually think they do look pretty dangerous again.
Possibly.
I just don't think their halves really pair very well in general right now. I think it's Dillbags and who else is it? It's
he was playing for the Cowboys. Dejan
Arce, yeah.
The one.
That's him. I just don't think they gel well enough.
No.
Blaze as a fullback, I think, is fantastic. I don't think he's the answer to the half situation either. But I think I think he's actually kind of better defensively than Gutho as well. Maybe not on stats purely because on time base, but he's becoming even better and better. And I think once Moses is back, he's going to actually do some real damage with plays on his outside like that. Especially when you saw those out of scrum plays from this week, like he was killing it.
Yeah, a lot more potent. I mean, obviously Gutho's sort of been playing with his busted knee and whatnot as well. That's been holding him back a little bit, but. Yeah, I know what you mean. They've for a team that's sort of considering possibly pushing him into the centres or trialling someone else or looking for another explosive fullback. There hasn't been anyone as explosive as him at fullback 100%. In that team for a bit. You know what I mean?
So like his aggression is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a hungry points wanter, man.
And I think he might be off contract this year or currently at the moment too. So they're probably doing well to make a play for him and even tell him, hey, that might be your spot coming up. So. But then moving on to Saturday's games, we've got the Tigers and the Knights. Knights just snatching the win on this one. The Tigers look like they might have...
They were so unlucky in this game.
Yeah, they look like they might have had it for all money, really, in that one, I thought. I mean, I only got to watch a bit of the game. I didn't get to watch all of it, but...
I know there was something wacky at the end of the game that was real controversial too.
Oh, okay. Bit of a contentious call, huh?
Yeah, that's why this guy, I just can't bloody remember what happened, but geez, it was... Yeah. Like, I remember watching and going, far out, this is...
Unlucky.
They were so close, man.
They lost. They lost it. Oh, I mean, the Knights anyway lost a few people to injury in that game too. So it was a bit all over the shop.
This is the game that Bradman went down. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and that was this week. Yeah, they lost Hastings. I think Hastings or Gamble. One of the two went down. Might have been Gamble went down, and then Crosland had to come in and fill in. So they were a bit all over the show. Yeah. But it ended up working out all right for the Knights in the end. There, they did get very lucky. And then the next game being the Dragons, Rabbitohs. Dragons coming away with the 14-point win, 28-14 in this one. Yeah, again, that's probably as expected, right, for how both teams are going. Dragons still, I mean, no one's really sold on them being super dominant, but they are showing signs of improvement, and they keep on coming away with wins and having gritty ones at that.
Yeah, I tell you what, Ben really damaged the Rabbits back line.
Yeah.
Like he just put them under so much pressure all the time. It was really, really good from Benny. But geez, Trell again coming up, probably playing a total of 10 minutes.
He got and I mean, looking at it, if you looked at just had a quick glance on the stats, like points wise anyway, he got 2 tries, but that's probably
it's just not reflective of the rest of the game at all.
Yeah.
It really isn't. I mean, he came out probably maybe 15. You could maybe argue 15 minutes of hard gaming, and he just sort of sat in the back and didn't do that much. So it's, I mean,
far from his best.
Yeah,
what we know he can do.
Yeah, which is the disappointing part, really, because you know that he's such a superstar, but when he wants to be.
Yeah, when he wants to be, exactly right. Why it is, I don't know, but like not to punch down because it's easy to do, but yeah, it definitely seems like he's 100% not performing to his possibilities or his capabilities. He can do it, we know it, but yeah, it's quite reflective in the results and that anyway. And the Sharks Storm, this was the one that sort of did me in because Hines was a late out. He was like a last minute out for them there because I had Sharks for all money on this one. I thought, it's got to be.
I think like 5 of us in the tipping comp all changed our tip when they said
Hines was out.
Hines was out.
Yep. But yeah, they did very well. They really did. They did solid to sort of rein it in the way they did. Didn't get to watch the game, but
probably good because this one made me nearly put holes in walls.
Oh wow, frustrating. I'll let you speak on this one if you got a bit more.
This is the. I mean, we've all seen. Surely you've seen replays of it this week, where it's just the Daniel Atkinson, the Harry Grant sin bin. I don't know what to say about NRL refereeing consistency anymore.
Or common sense.
I mean, common sense is far out, man. He barely touched him. He barely touched him, and they still gave it a sin bin. And I can't get my head around how it could possibly be a sin bin when you literally look at the Cows game the week prior against the Finns, and it's. Like we could have just straight up went golden point after that because it was blatant penalty, but because Scotty didn't play for the penalty, we didn't get it.
That's exactly the game. What you said there is exactly what it is. Scott took the kick and he knew he didn't get it. He didn't bother playing for the penalty because it's a bit of a fucking weak act.
It's a fucking cop out.
Yeah, it is. Like, you don't have confidence in your team if you're doing shit like that. But probably a different thing last minute, golden point or whatever, or dying minutes of the game. You're playing the game or whatever, playing the rules, but it's still.
But at the same time, just from a consistency point of view, someone
shit.
picks it up and goes, yeah, hey, that's actually a penalty play. Let's go again.
The referee should be able to make a call like he did in that game. He went to blow a penalty, from what I'm hearing the commentators were saying, and then looked at the situation, then put his whistle away. That's probably common sense. It's probably how it should have turned out. I think that's how all or most of them should be turning out. But all it takes is that kicker to jump, put his leg up, and if someone's coming to attack him, even if they don't run directly at him, if they're running by him, as long as his foot can graze that attacker,
it's grounds.
Yeah,
it's innocent grounds for penalty.
That's it.
You just got to play for it.
Yeah, that's it. As long as they can manage to graze him, which is what the Grant one was. Grant wasn't running at him; he was running past him. Atkinson's foot just grazed him.
And it was barely a touch.
I'm not going to say he kicked him, but he threw his leg toward him and his foot touched him. And as soon as it did, he knew that's it. All I've got to do is drop here. He dropped and then made out like he was injured, got eyes on him. And then as soon as he got that...
Here's my question. Do you think a sin bin should ever be awarded for that?
Yeah, in certain situations. Like it used to be, the common sense thing where if someone's blatantly coming out and attacking a leg, like someone just jams someone in the air in the leg, because you can get some pretty bad injuries. Think of Lachlan Ilias, for example.
Ilias is probably the worst one.
But that's where the ref's discretion needs to come in. It's like they've gone, okay, well, we've seen what's happened here and how serious it's been. Any instance of it, we'll be getting a sin bin from now on, which is funny because Annesley came out and said they haven't been told to do that. Yet all of a sudden, ever since that injury, they are. So whether the refs are taking it upon themselves to do it or not, I don't know. But it's pretty embarrassing. It's blatantly embarrassing. And like Bellamy said, a line's been drawn in the sand. They've shown how they want to rule on it now. So that's how it's to be ruled on. And now when it won't, which it didn't in the Scott Drinkwater case, which was probably the game before that game, was it? Or game after it, sorry. Game after it.
It's the game prior, right?
Yeah, the Melbourne one was.
The game after.
Yeah, Cowboys was the game after. Yeah, they didn't rule on it. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just another cop-out thing. We sit here and talk about refs every week and how they make their own rules and change how they want to rule on stuff. We can do that for the whole hour, but... yeah, it's ridiculous.
Consistency.
Yeah, ridiculous. It's embarrassing. Very embarrassing, I think. But yeah, anyway, the rest of that game there, the Sharks was gritty. I mean, gritty for him to come away with a win in that one, I think. Yeah.
I think if you're a Storm fan or if you're a Storm player or if you're anyone involved with the Storm, you're probably in the same position I was in. Obviously, mine was because I had a multi on, but neither here nor there. I think if you're a Storm fan, Storm associate, you're pissed at the way that game went. And it definitely had massive repercussions on the game and the outcome of the game, in my opinion.
It led to a try, if you're talking about the sin bin.
Yeah.
It led to a try.
Yep. And you could even argue that it led to momentum shifting.
Yep.
The way that the players feel after they see that sort of thing, big, massive hit on wanting to actually fucking play the game after something like that happens, to be honest. I know they're professionals and can never really say that should go that way, but that's just the way that shit goes. It's just human nature.
Yeah.
What it is.
Yep. But yeah, moving on. We'll move on from that one.
Otherwise, we'll be here for all fucking day
about it. But yeah, it was good scrappy win from the Sharks on that one there.
And
sin bin aside, yeah.
Sin bin aside, Daniel Atkinson also did have the game of his friggin' life. Dude played out of his skin.
Yeah. Been amazing.
Especially when it came to being a drama participant. Anyway.
Moses 2.0.
Literal, yes.
And Roosters Warriors was the next game, actually. Sorry. Now, this was probably a result we thought we would see coming out of that one.
Not only did we think we would see this result, we did get a bit of a special showing in this game as well. Hey, I just thought that Sam Walker was just incredible.
Yeah, he's since he's come back from that head knock or whatever it was this year, the injury early on, he's just been insane. Like he's really, it's almost like Cleary-esque, seeing Cleary rise to fame and just take a hold of the game. He's really coming into his own, I think.
I just don't think there's a half in the game that wants to be as aggressive as him.
Yeah,
like he is so aggressive in attack. The guy is always sniffing for something. You just can't. And sometimes you just can't defend him.
Yeah.
You literally just can't defend him sometimes, especially with some of the balls he puts on. Like, it's just...
Grubbers, and even chip kicks and
Man,
stuff like that are always pretty potent from what I see from him lately. Like he'll be
he's
looking
so
looking to
pinpoint
pass.
accurate.
Yeah,
He weights them perfectly every time somehow. I don't know how he does that, but
yeah.
he has just come back and he's come into some really special form, and it's just
Mm.
like I'm not a Roosters fan. I know, and I know that. To be honest, there's not a lot, not a lot of Roosters fans around our sort of group because Uncle Nick stories, all that sort of stuff. No one likes Roosters, but I tell you what, man, you got to sit down and watch a Roosters game and just marvel at how good Sam Walker actually really is.
Yeah,
It's
they're
awesome.
they're looking pretty safe moving forward once Keary retires, and Sandon Smith or whoever comes in, they're looking pretty safe having Walker run the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, great showing from him once again. It might be whether there's a correlation between the beard he's got going. We did call it at the start of the year with Todd growing the goatee and whatnot, and once he shaved it, we started going to shit. So
and just remember, even if you don't like the Roosters, Sam Walker is a Queenslander.
Yeah, exactly right. That's positive too. We may even see him.
Big positives, big plus.
We may even see him get called into the extended squad. And then the last game, Titans-Cowboys. Now, the end scoreline on that is not at all reflective of the Cowboys' efforts by any means. More so the loss of Titans players at the end of the game there. I only got to watch the first half. I had to go to work. But, yeah, from that first half, I don't think anything in that changed up until, the last 15
20 minutes?
20 minutes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Tough one. Real tough one to watch as a Cows fan. Yeah, geez, I tell you, really fell off. But then on top of that as well, I mean, I think it was massive amounts of injuries for the Titans in that one as well. I'm really shocked that because we didn't really have that bad of a first half. It wasn't as bad as it looked from the initial look at it, especially from the defensive statistics anyway. It could have been a lot worse. But I hate that we're just not putting up 80 minutes, That's the issue.
Yeah. But what I saw, going back and watching a bit afterwards, but that first half specifically, it's the same shit again every week. Goal line defense was horrendous. It was horrible. I think Fafita went from dummy half and got a try.
It's just the scramble is just really poor.
It's tragic.
Yeah.
It was all it was horrible. And the errors again leading to ball turnover and then tries off of errors. It's holy shit.
When we get them in their own half, it's not so bad. We're actually not too bad at our spread defense in mid.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad. It's when we get trapped on our try line is when we panic and we just can't scramble. I don't know what's going on there.
And that, again, it's indicative of us being all attack. Once we're in there and that confidence is there, we can attack and attack and attack. And if a side's got a little bit of wavy defense, we can put points on. But yeah, that's it. Once we're back down our end, it's panic stations and they just can't seem to rein it in. But yeah, it wasn't until really that last, like you said, 15, 20 minutes. I think Brimson got injured and Foran got injured. It was a bit of a shuffle. They had to do some shuffling on the Titans side there to fill the team out, and we started putting some points on, but it was just too little too late. Even Val had another pretty average game, and then it was that last 10 minutes or so that he turned it up, doing those real hard, heavy runs, and yeah, I don't know. It just same thing again, man, I think. And I mean, if we won that, if we somehow managed to come out with the win, we didn't deserve it, unfortunately, to say, but yeah, just the same thing again every week. Titans have been building, and to get that win, they were very lucky with their injuries at the end there. So
did Val miss? How many kicks did Val miss in that game too? I can't remember if he actually missed any kicks.
Well, it's 18 points, so we'll have a quick squeeze.
Did he get them all? No, he got them all.
Yeah, Val Drinky took the last one by the looks of that.
That was just that one really shitty penalty that they got.
Yep. But
couldn't get it back.
Yeah, again, same sort of thing. So we'll move on to Magic Round, though. We'll get through that before we start taking a bit too long.
Where the real magic happens.
Yeah, the Tippers' nightmare somewhat this week, you know what I mean? It was good to watch, but the Raiders coming away with the win against the Bulldogs there. Bulldogs have been building, and we've been talking about it. They've been getting some good gutsy wins and just narrow losses, but the Raiders ended up just pipping them in this one, which was wild.
Yeah, geez, Kicker had a bit of a... had a bit of a buster this week, I tell you what.
I think he injured himself too, didn't he?
Yeah,
briefly.
He did get. He just never really had game after he sort of copped that first sort of rough tackle that he got.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just every time he got a ball, it would be on the floor. Like he was dropping every ball that was being thrown to him. He just, I think he went off a HIA after that first one, came back, and then he just dropped every single ball. So I don't know if maybe Doctor should have had an extra look.
Yeah, it was a bit tough on poor old Kicks there. He did, like you said, I think it was something with his leg too, I think.
Yeah.
In a tackle there, he ended up pulling up a bit ginger, but yeah, just not on. And the Raiders, I mean, young KO Weeks his kicking game's been insane.
He is a fantastic kicker.
Yeah, they just managed to get right in the end there. Get on
and like I said at the start of the potty too, I mean, this game goes golden point if Birdo just gets his kicks.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Exactly right. Whether, and again, another one where you
bit of a Val syndrome.
Yeah, sort of off his game a bit because we know he is better and he can be better than that. But yeah, just shanking a couple of those kicks there. So unfortunately for them, but
it turned out it mattered in the end too.
Yep,
unfortunate.
It did. Yep, Raiders getting away with the win on that one, albeit by 4 points. But yeah, pretty gutsy for them, which is positive signs considering their injury list at the moment too.
100%.
Next game being Manly versus Broncos, and it's not the year of the bird by the look of that, unfortunately.
I don't know. I still think there's a potential. Like they are still playing decent footy, but now that Turbo's gone, it's going to be tough.
Well, that's it. We knew it was going to be a tough game, but to be so close, 1 point the difference, which only Madden slotted that field goal toward the end there. That was the difference in it, man. Like Manly looked like they could have had it for all money.
And like I said at the start of the potty there too, this game was so close. Like if they had maybe an extra 2-3 minutes up their sleeve for another couple sets, to fix their position, or even arguably just not fuck the field position in the first place 2 sets prior.
Yep.
They would have had a crack at field goal, at least a good crack anyway. Not the one that he did get left with at the end of the game there, but
yeah. Yep.
I mean, this could have been another golden point game, which is fantastic. Magic Round has kicked off fantastic.
Yeah,
straight up. This was a pretty enthralling Magic Round in my opinion.
2 great games for the
straight off
for the first 2
sick.
anyway. Yeah.
The only real contentious part I had was obviously with the Raiders game too. That Papali'i sin bin.
Oh yeah, the sin bin for did they? I don't know whether they called that one a hip drop. I don't remember.
They did call it a hip drop.
They did.
They called it a hip drop, and they also have now, as of today, handed down a 1 week early plea. 1 week early plea to him, which I also think is incorrect, which also shows again more inconsistency with the judiciary. But
yeah,
I don't think we really want to spend another hour talking about the judiciary as well. But
yeah, because that tackle in question, the one you're talking about, it was almost like a combined effort because it was Papali'i that went for the tackle and momentum carried him or took him off his legs, so he started dropping, but Papali'i came nowhere near. I think it was it kick out?
It was someone else. It was someone from his own team.
No, the kick out that
it was kick out.
Yeah,
it was on kick out, but it was
Weeks. KO Weeks' legs were the one that were there, and Weeks was not making a hip drop at all. That's the odd thing. Weeks
was Papali's momentum that pushed his leg onto it.
Yeah, exactly right. Weeks, if anything, would not have made the tackle. If Papali wasn't there, but yeah, Papali's fallen. Pushed Weeks' leg, and Weeks in his position is, again, nowhere near making a hip drop on his own. His legs contacted kick outs, which has tripped him up, and they've constituted that as an assisted hip drop.
In my opinion,
I don't know.
This is just a completely pure accident, case of just contact sport. I really don't think there's a case for any of it, but
yep.
What do you do, bro?
Because for me, how does Weeks get out of that? Because even though it's not a good tackle, he's not making a dangerous or incorrect tackle.
Yeah.
Neither is Papali. Papali's going nowhere near Kickout's legs. I don't know. It's an odd one.
Odd.
I don't know their justification or what they're thinking here. No one does, but a bit of a tough one for.
But either way, at least with the first 2 games of Magic Round, it's a good start. We take these. We take this. The only other contentious call I think was in this next game.
Yeah, the Titans Knights one with the Brian Kelly try, I'm assuming you're referring to, the last one. Yep. This one now, I know obviously Des was fuming about it. He says try any day of the week, but I think, for me anyway, if you look at it...
I said no try.
Yeah, if you look at it properly, I think, and in an unbiased way, I think you'll find it's no try. Like, you can see where he loses control of the ball. even though you don't see a gap between his hand and the ball, you can see it come away.
You can see it come away and bobble.
Yeah, due to someone pulling it away, which is...
As much as I would love to give that a try for the Queensland boys.
Yeah. Or even just the effort of Brian Kelly.
Alone. Yeah, 100%. He had a cracker of that game too. He really wanted to win. So I think taking all that away and looking at it just as an isolated case, you look at any other case where there's even a slight bobble and there's a member of the opposite person of the opposite team in that tackle.
Yeah.
The moment there's even a slight bobble and there's any contact, it's instant no try.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And that's the way that I viewed it straight away.
Yep.
Not everyone viewed it the same. I think everyone that was at our gathering there that we were all looking at the game and stuff like that, I think we all sort of agreed no try.
Yep.
I don't think anyone said it was a try. There was a few people in the tipping group, of course, that were like, no, that's got to be a try.
Clarkie's rugby league column would have been calling it a try for all money.
Classic Clarkie though.
Yeah.
I think the Knights really deserved this win.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate that Bradman pulls up with that bad hamstring there as well.
Another hamstring for another Origin player, another star of the game.
Yeah.
Another one down. Yeah. It was a gutsy win. Atkinson, which you already talked about that. Young fullback Armstrong had an absolute blinder. Yeah, I mean, if they were ever worried about KP not being there, they're in safe hands at the moment anyway for a young gunner debutant this year.
I just love seeing them have an active and aggressive fullback, but also not relying on him to do it.
Exactly right.
They're actually, using the rest of their team and actually making great plays.
He's there when he needs to be.
Paul is man, what a player.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy is so huge.
He's there when he needs to be and just does his job well, and he did it amazing this week. Couple runaway tries there to reward his efforts. But so Knights coming away with the win on that one, 24 to the Titans, 28 to the Knights. Next game was the Sharks Roosters one, another absolute
game of the round
blinder of a game. Yeah,
game of the round.
I probably tend to agree with you on that one. Yeah,
and even though the scoreline looks massive between both teams, it's not indicative of bad defense even slightly. These are just, in my opinion, this is year one and year two so far. If you were to call a grand final right now, that'd probably be those two guys right there.
It was a war. I mean, the scoreline was pretty well even for a majority of the game. Someone would get a try, and then the next team would as well. It'd be almost set for set sort of thing. There was never any point where it looked like either team had it in the bag. It was just, I think that in 5 minutes the Sharks ended up getting to that 8-point lead. That's all it was.
And I think every single person that was in that sports bar that we were in was edge of their seat literally the entire game. I think the only time people got off the edge of their seat was halftime.
Yeah.
Like even the very last minute of halftime, Roosters go above. They level it up and then go above again.
Yeah.
Taking the halftime lead, and then Sharks come back in that second half. It was just so good to watch.
Yep, we saw a couple sin bin or professional fouls, 2 penalty tries, I think, in those games, was it not? Those 2 consecutive games, but then also a couple sin bins throughout for professional fouls.
Oh, there was sin bins in, I think, every single game this
Pretty
week.
well, yeah, exactly right. But
they really wanted to pick on the professional foul this week.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, other than those, it was insane, bloody insane game.
Got to hit those KPIs, eh?
amazing for either Roosters or Sharks fans. I know you're pretty stoked on how your team's doing at the moment. You got to be. They're definitely looking to be strong contenders for.
And Roosters, for what it's worth, they didn't come away with the win in this game, obviously, but man,
could have very easily could have
some talented players, man. It's awesome to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Leading on to the next game, the Cowboys Rabbitohs, which again not very, scoreline 28-22, 6 points of difference, not very
convincing.
Yeah, not very convincing, but finally a win. Thank fuck, we beat the bottom of the ladder side. Cowboys started strong, very strong. I think they started pumping some points on. Then it was almost like, oh, we've got a little bit of a lead, and then again disappeared. Goal line defense horrible again. Errors horrible again.
The errors was what was a bit disappointing in this one, to be honest.
Drop balls, turnovers, not so much forward passes. There weren't that many forward passes really, but knock-ons, drop balls, stuff like that.
I would actually say
penalties.
That we kind of got away with it a little bit. There was a lot of forward passes in this game, in my opinion, from both teams.
Oh yeah,
none
definitely.
Of them were picked up,
it was. There's only a couple I think that were, but. Yeah, exactly right. Penalty count, insane.
Oh, it was like
Six to
8-1 at
six
the
or
end of the
eight to
game. I
one.
think.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you're right.
eight
It
to
was
one.
6-1 toward the end of the game. Then you ended up being 8-1.
Mm.
Very lucky to be ahead on that one, but yeah, at least thankfully the boys come away with the win. That's all I can say. There were some good tries. Young Braden Burns got a double, I think, on his debut.
Yeah, we all discussed this at depth.
Yeah.
Kyle felt out.
Yep.
With I think it was either a finger or an ankle. I can't remember what it was. I think it was
injury,
ankle, maybe.
Yeah.
Either way, Kyle's out, so we bring in Burns to have his first crack at Cows League.
Mm-hmm.
We were all talking about it. It was South Sydney, the worst left edge defense in the comp by far, by a long shot.
Yep.
And that really proved true. Burns was in there and he was threatening it the entire game.
Yep.
Got himself a double.
Yep.
Like he had a really good game, and he really wanted to show that geez, you guys shouldn't have let me go.
Yep.
Bit of Bunny's vengeance to it. It was quite nice to watch.
Yep, exactly right. It was rather good to see, rather enjoyable. He really capitalised on it. Definitely, I know. I mean, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I think him getting signed, it might have been on the Life at the Outpost podcast. We talked about it, but I thought, man, he'd just be a depth signing, if anything, which is what it turns out.
Neither of us really understood it.
And there he is. He's slotted in perfectly at just the right time, I think, in my opinion, and done very well. So if you got anyone or need anyone as a backup on the wing or a centre or something like that, I think he's probably solidified his spot there anyway at the moment, especially with Felamay being out. To the next couple games.
Before we do crossover, I do want to say that again, Tom Dearden.
Oh, all heart, always. Yep.
Just
every week.
If there's one thing that you can back, it's that Tom Dearden is probably one of the only players on the Cowboys team at the moment who, despite the form slump of defense amongst our ranks, his has not dropped at all. He's all heart.
Yep.
110%. I will try and save whatever I can in this, like in the try against tries.
Yeah, and he does.
He really did well. It's about all I got for that.
Yeah, a lot of great cover tackles or saving tackles there. I know Cody tried to get away with a few, put a few steps on or whatever, and Tommy was there, just wrapped him up, covered him, and he wasn't.
He had him for all money every time. It was
frustrating Cody a lot, which was good to see. Then the next game's got the Warriors Panthers, which was quite miraculous. I mean, talk about upset. I mean, Panthers being without Cleary as well, but Warriors without Johnson, they got CNK at fullback no, they don't.
No Tohu Harris.
Tohu Harris was laid out.
The new young fullback who came in.
Tuapiki. He filled in for CNK at the start of the year, so he's getting his call back up, but CNK having to move to 5'8", I believe.
Yes.
He
killed it.
Yeah, that saw him.
Both of them killed it, actually.
Yeah, saw him get his call up again. No Roger Tuivasa-Sheck either. That was another one that's out. So
they had so many big stars, big names out.
Yep. Wade Egan got injured in the game.
Injured literally at 10th minute or something like that.
Yeah, there were about 2 or 3 injuries that game, which caused a fair few reshuffles for them, unfortunately. But just gutsy, it's like, I don't know whether it was a little bit of left field. The Panthers didn't really see it coming or whatnot.
I just think they had nothing planned for Tuapiki at all.
Yeah,
like he was everywhere and he was dismantling them.
Yeah,
like, it was rather impressive to see like such a young kid come in with very minimal experience and go, Premiers, who fucking cares?
Yeah, picking up a try for his efforts as well. Yeah, very very solid. They hung in there right to the end. The Warriors did, and it even showed where Panthers did what Panthers do. They muscled up and ended up sort of nearly coming away and clinching it, getting back into it, but just couldn't. I don't know, for whatever reason, they're kicking. I mean, they wasn't Cleary. It was Luai kicking. He's not a dominant kicker, but yeah, they just shut everything down, even in the end there.
I know Isaiah was probably kicking himself a fair bit after that sin bin.
Yeah, that was just a bit of a brain snap, I think.
Brain explosion, just straight stupidity.
Which we see the Panthers do, not so much that sort of blatant stuff, but they do a lot of
not usually from Isaiah though.
Yeah, they do a little bit of, they play the game a bit or try to slow the game down a bit with stuff like that, but they usually don't get called on it. So it was very, very odd to see it happen.
Especially to Isaiah.
Yeah, I think they got a bit sort of lucky, the Warriors, on officiating this week, though, as well. They weren't getting done as hard done by on some calls. It was a lot more fair, I think. But yeah, great effort from the Warriors. Panthers just unlucky to not get it there. I mean, it's good for the Warriors considering their form slump. They've been on a slide for a little while now, so good positive signs. Hopefully they can keep that up, continuing into next week. And
yeah, they really needed it too.
Get a
I
bit
think
of
they've
momentum.
got Finns next week, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Yep, that's going to be a fun one for them.
And then we've got Storm Eels. Now, this one started out to be a lot closer than we thought it would be. We thought, Storm would run away with it early on, but it was a competition, right up until Munster got injured, which everyone thought, oh no, here we go, it's about to get 10 times harder. Munster just dropped. He pulled up sore in a tackle, and then he kept playing. Then he got worse in another tackle. He was sort of hobbling along, and then took another tackle, and he just dropped. He couldn't get up, couldn't stand. So eventually he was able to put weight on it, and he hobbled off the field. But whether it's that groin injury he's had problems with, he's just done something to it. I don't think we found out. We haven't heard too much more just yet.
They've been very quiet about it, honestly.
Yeah, didn't look good, though.
It didn't look good. On the first reaction, like when we saw him first pull up lame, it was sort of like, oh, that's probably, it looks a bit groin. And the second time he did it, it was sort of like, oh, that could be maybe, that could still be groin, but it also he's grabbing at the thigh a bit there, or he's more so he's grabbing at like the inner thigh. So I was like, and then that third one was like, oh, it could be a whole bunch of things.
Yeah,
so
it didn't look good. He was in a lot of pain. Yeah,
like it looked like he got hit in the nuts. It looked like he got hit in the nuts the way he reacted. So I'm hoping it's not twisted testes or something like that. But it looks more likely adductor or something like that, with that sort of same issue with the groin. But
yeah, especially with him carrying it since the start of the year, just aggravating it or whatever it was. He did come out and say he knew he wasn't going to be 100% for the season. He'd just have to deal with it. And unfortunately, it's something that's just gotten worse over time. So
aggravated for sure.
Yeah, whatever they need to do with it. To get him right. It's another Origin star out injured. So
positive side though, Harry Grant take a bow.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Jesus Christ, he had a game.
Yep, he did.
And then he backed it up with Matty Johns as well.
Yep.
What a legend.
Yep, put the team on his back on that one, and made up for the week prior. That sin bin in the week prior.
He was in everything. He was in everything. He scored a double.
Yep.
Bloke he just wanted to make mincemeat of the Eels. I think he really put him to the sword. As
the captain should be. Yeah, he was doing his job, which was good to see. But yeah, beautiful effort in that one. Sorry.
I will also make mention as well. Blaze Talagi, fantastic game.
Yep.
Copping that massive nasty eye split as well. Split above his eye.
Yep.
Right at the start of the game, pretty much.
Yep.
Played the entire thing with it.
Yeah.
And also showed a nice little set play they've got going with that out of the back scrum to the left. Out of the back of scrums to the left.
Yep.
And pretty much almost landed a try 100% of the time. It was pretty close. So good on him.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Very nice, very nice. And then the last game of the round, the Tigers versus Dolphins, 24 to the Dolphins, Tigers 12. Great effort. Hammerso back, and you could tell, Hammerso was out of the gates in this game. I think
Hammerso in Magic Round, he just wants to put points on.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Magic Round specifically, but I think every Magic Round he's played, he's scored a double or more.
He's been on fire. Yeah. They've missed him. I mean, I don't mean that in the way that they haven't been any good without him, because Trey did very well filling in for it, but they've missed him. Like he's come in and just slotted straight back in and running amok the whole time. There was a few. It
wasn't even like he was waiting until the end of the game either. He was doing it from word go. He was just being a pest straight away.
Yeah. Big, like we said, Marky Nichols as well. Nichols getting another try. Bit of a cult hero, that fella at the moment there. Tigers a little bit unlucky. I think it was errors really did them wrong in the end there.
Yeah, just a lot of stupid stuff.
Yeah, sin bins, errors, penalties, just for you said, silly stuff.
And I know Benji talked about it before the game as well. Benji even said in the interview, "Look, there's a lot of stuff we got to cut out of our game because it really lets us down." And then they came out there and fucking really doubled down and showed how right Benji is. So there's some silly stuff they've got to cut out in terms of just the sticking around in tackles for too long, or just brain explosions. Like
hitting the head.
Hits in the head mostly. Yeah,
The Naden one was stupid.
The Naden one should get him dropped, quite frankly, but
it was dumb. It was fucking stupid.
I felt bad for Justin. He got a bit unlucky, but the Naden one was just outrageous. It was stupid.
Yeah,
very, very stupid.
And that one we saw, obviously, it was simultaneous sin bins, so they were both off at the same time, which made it tough. The Tigers did all right there to not be down by more points, in my opinion. I
mean, the Naden one was just mind blowing to me. There was literally 10 seconds left in the game.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, you go and just into halftime and give a fucking year in the sin bin.
Context if you missed it. 10 seconds to go. Tackle's already been complete. He comes in and just smashes him across the jaw.
Well, it was almost as if he was trying to drive him over the line, which why would you fucking bother?
Well, that's a penalty anyway.
Yeah, why would
Tackle's already been made.
Why would you bother? I think, who was it? Was it Osako? Someone? No, it was Bostock.
It was Bostock.
Bostock dropped. So Bostock dropped and tried to surrender, basically, and he's come in to hit him and almost.
But he was second man in as well.
Was he? I thought he was the only one in the tackle.
No, he was second man in. There was someone already who had applied pressure to him after the concede.
Yeah, right.
So he's come second man in with it across the jaw, and it's just it made no sense to me, because whether you try and push him across the line or not, that's still a penalty, because it's already been called the end of tackle. Tackle's over there. It was the fifth tackle as well.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
And yeah, like you said, 10 seconds to go, just jammed him, and that's it. Sin bin put his team behind on momentum anyway. It really fucked them. So, and they paid for it. But is what it is. Gutsy effort though in defence, I think, from the Tigers to, like we said, not be behind by any more.
And probably could have easily been behind a lot more, to be honest.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, Dolphins on a roll, like we've been talking about. They've had a few people fill in, but they've done all right. But yeah,
he was first man in.
Just done a fair bit of improvement, I think, since the start of the season. Man, they're on the way up. They've been on the way up ever since, really. That Cowboys game, I think, is probably set the tone for them, or set the tone for Wayne for the year anyway, I think. Yeah, that's about it for Magic Round. Was there anything else in particular you wanted to bring up? Or
no, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. That game did shock me though, in some of the, like, especially the Naden thing. The Naden thing was just so silly.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah. We'll go over round 12 real quick. We'll have a quick look at that one.
Quick predictions.
A few predictions and whatnot. Thursday, you got the Bulldogs, Dragons. Now, this one's going to be hard to pick, I think, probably because they've both been on the up as of late. I don't know. Ben Hunt's just
for me. I've kind of got the Dragons no matter what here. However, I think it will be pretty bit of a wait and watch, regardless, to see who comes out after the Magic Round stuff. Because I think Kickout may take a week off.
Possibly, yeah.
It wouldn't shock me if he took a week off.
Yeah.
If they do play him, I'm definitely going for Dragons.
Yep.
Because he's probably going to be weak. He's probably going to be a bit lame, and they're going to run at him all day. So. So I'm thinking Dragons there.
Dragons
for sure.
On that one, yep. Yeah, tough one. I mean, like I said, Hunt's on fire. He's on fire at the moment. Bulldogs are they've been competing every week, and we've talked about it before. They've only just narrowly lost. They've either won decently or just narrowly lost. So it's going to be a dogfight. But I'm thinking almost I'm going to have to go with the Dragons as well.
I think the only thing that they've got going for them is that Birdo's got a big kicking game.
Yeah.
So they can potentially get a lot of field possession off.
Yeah.
Versus Lomax and Hunt.
Yeah, exactly. I think Hunt's in form at the moment. So coming into Origin too, he's gonna continue it. But yeah, I think it'll be Dragons, I think, but it might only be narrow.
It'll be a tight one, I think.
Yeah, probably also worth mentioning. It looks like it might be Indigenous round this week here. Round 12, it looks like, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So. The Indigenous round proceedings, whether they have, I imagine they'll probably have some ceremonies or something for each game or whatever prior, but we'll wait and see what the NRL does for that. The Friday night game, which is back up here in Townsville, 6 p.m. Fridays, Cowboys versus the West Tigers. Now, this one, much like last week, it's Actually, Tigers are probably in a bit better stead than the Rabbitohs, so it's not going to be as easy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be a fight, and it'll be tough. Cowboys really need to pull their finger out. Like we said, the errors of the Tigers are killing them. But now I would be quite shocked if both Naden and Olam escape some sort of suspension. So they're going to be down there. They're going to have a couple of people filling in, so that might benefit the Cowboys a bit here. I'll say Cowboys in this one. Again, possibly only narrowly. I reckon it might even be like within a 10 to 12 point margin.
I think it could be a bit more. I'm actually going to go Cows 13 plus on this, and the reason for it is especially with Olam out as well. That left edge is going to be very weak. I think very, very weak.
Yep.
I think it could be on for Burns again, to be honest, unless Felty's back.
Yep.
And in which case, Felt loves a good Tigers game, so
yeah, always turns up, whether it be
legal or not.
Legal or not. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So Cowboys get the win in that one. Next Friday night game is Seagulls versus the Storm. Yeah, you got to think Storm's going away with this one, but we'll wait and see what happens in terms of harvest pairing. I don't know how long.
Actually, who takes over if no money?
It'll be Wishart again and young Pezzett, I would imagine, unless he's still injured, unless Hughes comes back. I don't know when Hughes is back.
Actually, if Hughes is back, then I guess you can move some stuff around the back line there.
It'll be Hughes and Wishart regardless, I think, in that situation, if he's back. But yeah, I'm thinking still probably the Storm though. It's going to be a lot closer. It will be a lot closer than what that Eels game was. There's no question about it. Cause,
hopefully they don't go with the same logic. That's for sure.
Yeah, because Manly
no turbo.
Yeah, Manly have been solid. Or they had a solid game with young Corlo at fullback there. So, but yeah, I think I'll probably go Storm on this one. My game might only be it might be a close one, but I'll tip Storm. What are you thinking?
I think I have to go Storm. I can't see it any other way, especially no turbo.
Yeah.
There'll be no turbo, no sub. Yeah,
still a little bit depleted.
I think,
sides,
and Coates is playing as well, so I think.
Yep.
Oh, geez, Coates is going to run amok on that left.
Yep.
Yeah. No. Good luck to the Manly Seagulls this week.
Next game, Raiders Roosters. I'll go Roosters on this one. Roosters by far and away. I mean, nothing not to take away from the Raiders. Pretty gutsy efforts, considering the harvest pairing and whatnot, only just meshing or sort of just coming into form. But yeah, I think I've got to give it to the Roosters in this one for sure, man. Like you said before,
I can't not back Sam Walker in this game.
Yeah, exactly. Roosters for you.
100%.
And then this one should be a cracker of a game. Sharks versus Panthers. Now, I am going to tip the Sharks.
Panthers don't like losing, bro. They don't like losing 2 in a row.
Yeah, I would have to think they're going to be ready to fire back. But the last 2 weeks, I've gone against the Sharks, and against better judgment, I've gone against the Sharks, and it's sort of done me in. So
it really has.
This could be the red flag and where the Panthers do win this game. But I think I'm going to have to tip Sharks in this one.
I'm going to start out with Sharks. I'm going to wait and watch team lists, I think, because
that's fair.
Nico may. I mean, look, Nico's still a bit question marky, right?
I'm not too sure how they said he pulled up after that game. He was very touch and go up until the hour prior, and then he got through the last training one and running everything all good. So I think you're probably right in terms of them keeping an eye on him.
Maybe just to keep him safe at least.
Yeah, if he's starting to look a bit lame or a bit sore, they might pull him or whatever. But yeah, I think for the most part, he should be confirmed to play so far. We'll find out tomorrow, obviously. But yeah.
I'm going to sit on Sharks.
Yep.
But it may change.
Yep.
Either way, that's going to be a tight game.
It definitely, and it should be another close one. You would have to think. Next one being Rabbitohs Eels. Now this one's going to be a bit of a
if you will,
fight.
A poo slinger.
Yeah, poo slinger. But much to my behest, I think I'm going to have to tip the Eels in this one. I just have not. Even last week, I mean, it wasn't that big of a scoreline, like we were saying, but I just am not seeing enough from the Rabbitohs to have any confidence whatsoever in them, even with Troll back. It's tough. It's tough to be a Rabbitohs fan at the moment, I think.
I mean, I'm going to say it. We saw what happened. We saw what happened with left edge there in this week. and I think it's just if they go with the same left edge against the Eels, I think they're just going to get eaten alive by Simonson and Penasini.
Yep.
I think they're just going to fucking destroy him.
Yep.
They're going to go that way every single time, and they're probably going to start running the same scrum play as well.
Yeah.
With Blaze out the back in straight into Will.
Yep.
Or they're going to have to force Mark Will, and Blaze is just going to go on the outside.
Yeah, Pensini being continually the form's been very good this year, so really turning up for him.
And I think the only thing that maybe Bunnies have the edge there on is their mid defense.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Eels are going to run with that.
Yep.
I think Eels are going to run it for sure.
Next one, Broncos Titans. Broncos every day of the week. Titans, not to take anything away from the Titans, but still battling injuries, dealing with injuries. Being on the up and a lot of effort, great effort, but I think it's just
AJ
Broncos.
Or no?
Not too sure, man. I don't know how long his injury is. It's a groin one, and he's been notorious for having groin injuries, so I can't imagine he'll be back so soon.
Because if Reece is going to sit, if Reece sits, Renault's obviously out for God knows how long now, probably until round 24, I think they said.
Yeah, you're right.
I wouldn't even bring him back at this point. I'd wait till the finals. But look, if Reece is out, I'm going to be honest, that sort of really down bad Manly side really stressed them big time. They were stressed. That was not a comfortable game. And I think that there's actually a case to be made for the Titans because it's going to be Brisbane. It'll be Suncorp again.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's actually a case to be made that the Titans could do a little bit of a sneaky one on them here.
Yeah. Get away with the win. I'm thinking just
same sort of thing. Sit on Broncos and then check team list for sure.
Yeah. I'll go Broncos and you go on Broncos for now, but tentative we'll leave it.
Oh yeah.
And then the last game of the round, Warriors Dolphins. Now that one is over in Auckland. It's going to be tough. I mean, traveling's always tough for every side, but Warriors a great win, very solid win. Week just gone, very last minute one, but against the reigning premiers as well. But I don't know. It's not enough for me just yet after what we have seen so far.
Up, baby.
Yeah, from what we have seen so far up to now, you're right. I think it's Dolphins are just on a roll. I think
they're just impressive.
Yeah.
They're just so impressive to watch right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like we said, having Hamiso back, having those few big ins back in the team and that.
I think now that they've shown their hand with Tuapiki as well.
Yeah.
I think you'll see Wayno put up a very, very, very strong defensive case against him now.
Yeah, keeping pressure on him.
Straight up, I feel like that the Panthers sort of went into this game this week.
Yep.
Not giving a fuck.
Yep.
And then realizing, oh, hang on a minute. This guy's actually got a bit of flair about him.
Yeah.
And they didn't have anything prepared for it. So I think you do that against a Wayno team, there's no way.
No, exactly right.
So
Dolphins for both of us then.
Yeah, Finn's up for sure.
Yep. Alrighty, so for your fortnight, you've got a play or another try, is it, this week? Try of the round? Or rounds?
There was a lot of good tries this round.
There
really was.
Remarkable stuff over all the games. This round specifically Magic round specifically, but yeah.
Even last round there was a couple of bangers too. But the one that I want to do hone in on here, I do have an honourable mention as well. But the one I really want to hone in on is the double from Pauga in the Roosters game. Both all off work that either Teddy or Sam Walker did. But 5 minutes until the end of halftime, 5 minutes till halftime rather. I believe it's Sam Walker throws a ball. He just picks a nice ball, throws it to May, and then May just does this. This guy a halfback or what? is incredible, but he throws this fantastic ball straight out as far as the eye can see, right onto the chest of Pauga, and Pauga just runs a flat line straight in. It was fantastic. It was just eyes up footy. And literally 5 minutes later, Teddy picks a ball off the ground that I think Ramian drops, I want to say. It's Ramian who drops it, but Teddy picks a ball straight up off the ground as well.
Yep.
Pops it straight to Walker. Walker straight pops it out into Pauga as well, and it's just it's on again. He's in for the double, and he's had a blinder. He's had a blinder, and it's right before halftime. So honestly, after watching that, I thought Roosters win here for sure.
Yeah.
But they came back and they did really well. So.
Yep. Yeah, marvelous. They were marvelous tries too. There was a lot of doubles. A few people getting doubles, but
a lot of doubles. Yeah.
His were something quite special.
Before, and
nice.
I did also want to quickly also just say that again, Mark Nichols, 2 weeks in a row,
the goat,
getting the meat pie 2 weeks in a row, and he's just playing fantastic. And both of those tries, if you haven't seen them, watch the highlights from those 2 games because it's always good seeing the big boys get tries, but it was special seeing it from Mark. He's such a player.
Yeah,
such a player.
Yep, good stuff. I'm going to try and change my format up a little bit this week with the fantasy pickup of the round, because if anyone's actually been listening, paying any attention, and does follow fantasy, everyone I've suggested or even spoken about has gone off with injury. So the last 2 episodes, I think everyone's literally gone off with a multiple week injury or not finished the game and absolutely had a horrible fantasy score.
Which is unfortunate because a lot of them had good form too.
Yeah, so this week, that's exactly right. This week, I'm going to look at, just to try and break the curse, I'm going to look at players to trade out now, or a player to trade out. Now, this is not based on form or anything like that.
Honestly, not a bad format for the way that league's panning out right now.
yeah, exactly right. More so if you've got said player, as the percentage or own percentage is pretty high. Someone to trade out and get just a little bit of cash, gen and whatnot, and they're probably getting toward their ceiling price at the moment, so there's probably not a lot more money to be made. This week, I'd say if you've got him, he's got a 39.9% own percentage, so most teams do have him, but Ethan Strange now might sound a bit strange to say trade out Ethan Strange because his form's been pretty decent, especially with his pairing with young Weeks, but it doesn't always translate into fantasy points, unfortunately. There's a lot of players who are great. They do play well. They're in good form, but they're just not doing enough to generate points in fantasy. Now, he's just scored 45 in round 11, which isn't a bad score at all. But with his break even now starting to rise up, he's only just made 8K off of that. So unless he's going to be consistently scoring 40s to 50s from now on, you're going to start to see him sort of flatline a bit. And I just don't see his score being that massive with Weeks taking all the kicks and stuff like that. So, yeah, Ethan Strange, if you want to trade him out, he's currently worth 452k this week. You can probably hold him over the major buy rounds. I do believe he plays the major buy rounds in 13, 14 or 15 it might be as well. So if you do need a bit of coverage, if you don't have centre or half coverage, you can hold on to him because he won't lose that much money. But if you need a little bit of cash gen, that's the one to let go of. I think that's probably about it for this week's episode. We've touched on most of the big moments in Magic Round and prior and everything coming up. So yeah. As always, if you've got anything you want to hear about or any suggestions, hit us up on Hit the Gap podcast on Instagram.
Yeah, podcast, yeah,
or even YouTube, or give us a listen on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts rather, and Spotify. And until next time.